right now. All right, welcome to whatever episode it happens to be of Cheap Shot News. I am Zach, where in this, I basically discuss news topics I saw over the week that interest me. Yeah, it was weird. Sorry about that, Soup. Anyways, news topics that interest me and basically just put my opinions out there. I'm less of a news show and more of a news opinion guy. So this week's episode is brought to you by Sioux City Root Beer. That's actually not. I just really like it. Reminds me of my childhood a little bit, back in the good old days. So, but seriously, if somebody wants to sponsor me, I am not opposed to taking your money or swag for promoting you. So, something to think about, the 4 people that are watching me right now. Anyways, let's get started. First topic today, Black Panther cast. So, Black Panther was an awesome surprise in Civil War, and much to basically everyone's knowledge, and what Marvel's doing just in general. He's getting his own standalone movie. So in that standalone, there's going to be several people, but recently it was announced that Andy Serkis will be returning as the villain, Ulysses Claw. He showed up in Avengers Age of Ultron, and actually a very surprisingly interesting character in that movie. I'm really looking to see more of him. Hey, Victor, man, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. And so really excited to see him. I think Andy Serkis is one of the most underrated character actors in Hollywood today. Obviously, he's known for playing Gollum in Lord of the Rings, and then Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies, and he's done several other things. I think he's very underutilized and is an actually really awesome character actor without just being CG. So really excited about that. Martin Freeman is also reprising his role from Civil War as Everett K. Ross. This basically just means that there's going to be a little bit of government oversight that we're going to see in the Black Panther movies. Like I said, I'm really excited about this just because T'Challa, the Black Panther story, he was really one of the cooler, I believe, in my opinion, cooler characters in Civil War, and I'm really happy to see his story expanded upon. Not only did Chadwick Boseman knock it out of the park, we're also going to see that cast include Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, and then Forrest Whitaker in it as well. So super stoked about that. It should be very entertaining with a lot of good action. So looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys are too. Anyways, the next topic I'm going to touch on really is less newsworthy and more just me being interested in it. James Cameron recently gave his opinion on the new Alien franchise. Basically, if you didn't know, he directed the movie Aliens, which I think is probably the best one in the series. Some people might disagree with me, think Ridley Scott's Alien is better. I think Aliens is the better movie. It's just a great action movie. It's less scary, but honestly, today, right now, the Alien movie in general isn't that scary anymore. It's still a good movie. Not that scary, though. So, basically what James Cameron said is he came out and said, the jury is still out. That's ultimately what he said. I agree with him. The jury is still out. But he also said the franchise has kind of wandered all over the map, and I don't think it's worked out terribly well. I think we've moved beyond it. So I don't know exactly what he's saying there. We've moved beyond that, if Hollywood's moved beyond it, or he thinks the fans have moved beyond it. So now I could discuss with you about my opinions on James Cameron and thinking he's being a little hypocritical here just because of what he's doing with Avatar and what his plans for Avatar are. Basically, in my opinion, just he's dreaming, and if he thinks he's doing 5 Avatar movies and he can keep it interesting for 5. So, that being said, I'm not going to go into detail on that. We can talk about that another time. Anyways, the point I want to touch on is he says that basically, from what I'm getting of this, is he's saying it's run its course. That being said, I don't disagree with that statement. What I'm going to say, though, is I don't really think it's Ridley Scott's fault that they're continuing to do this. Studios are more and more basically just not taking any chances. They're going with movies that are in series or franchises that they know are successful. Thank you, Sean. He couldn't even make one Avatar movie interesting. I completely agree. Visually stunning movie, severely overrated in almost every aspect other than that, in my opinion. So, going back to what he said about this is it's not their fault. It's Hollywood, it's the industry's fault because they're not willing to take chances, so they continue to go back to franchises that they know, regardless of the situation, they can make money off of. Because even if it's crap, the crap isn't going to be announced until about 3 days in. So even an opening weekend, they'll make money. And they'll still probably make money because you get the fanboys that are like, I loved Alien. I don't care if it's crap. I'm going to go see it, or whatever franchise we're speaking of. And not only are they not taking chances in movies, they're just not taking chances even inside those movies. So the stories tend to be dull and everything tends to just be blah. Now, that being said, you can turn it around. You don't have to do what DC is doing and focus so much on making a good movie, or making money, I should say, focus so much on making money that you actually don't even make a good movie. That does happen. But you can turn it around. I'm not saying Alien Covenant's going to be crap. It's actually number 3 on my most anticipated list of this year. I'm super excited to see it. But that being said, it definitely may or may not be good. Just for an example, though, of a movie series that did turn it around, Mission Impossible. They definitely did it. First one was good. Second one was crap. Third one was okay. Probably slightly above okay, average. And then the 2 after that, Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation, are both awesome movies. They are just ridiculously good. Even though, some of you may not like Tom Cruise that much, he is awesome with it. And those, they're just great movies. They're whalers. So yeah. I'm going to take a sip of this. Just 1 second. That's good. Again, this is root beer. For anyone who missed that early on, got to keep it, PG-13 for the kids. Not that people don't drink beer in PG-13 movies. I do actually have some beer in the fridge, but anyways, I wanted a root beer. So that's kind of my idea. James Cameron, I kind of agree with you, kind of disagree with you. Ultimately, it's not Ridley Scott's fault. It's the studios. They need to allow directors to make original stuff and take control of their movies. I'm looking at you, DC and Warner. So, next topic, Cloak and Dagger. So, Marvel and Freeform, which used to be ABC Family, super exciting, have announced a live-action Cloak and Dagger drama series. For those who aren't familiar, Sean George, I'm sure you are familiar because you're a bigger nerd than I am, if you're still watching. Cloak and Dagger are a superhero duo, basically two teenage runaways, come from very different backgrounds, meet New York. In the comics, they end up getting experimented on with experimental drugs because, yeah, that's what you do to runaway teenagers. Of course, normal stuff. Get experimented on with drugs, and basically they get powers from this. Now, the original story came out as they were actually mutants, and the drugs basically brought out their powers, kind of like the Deadpool movie. And then I think newer series, though, they're basically mutates like Spider-Man, where just toxins got into their body and it changed their chemistry. Anyways, not the point. Their superpowers are Cloak, basically has access to an alternate dimension, a dark realm where he can dispatch his enemies, and Dagger basically can control light daggers, which suck out human vitality. So pretty cool. That being said, this is going to be on Freeform, whatever that is. Like I said, used to be ABC Family. So ultimately what I'm saying is that we're going to get another really crappy hero show that's based on characters who could be cool, but it's probably going to suck. So thank you, Freeform, for ruining my dreams. And moving on to other comic book shows that are probably going to be disappointing. Fox has recently announced, and Marvel, again, that their second basically of a second television project. Their first being Legion, which is coming out in a couple weeks, I believe, or next week, something like that. So coming out with another show. It's untitled at this point in time. Essentially, the plot is going to follow two parents and their mutant child who are forced to go on the run from government and end up joining Underground Mutant Network. It sounds like the very beginning of a Logan movie, doesn't it? Huh? Maybe? No? Okay, moving on. So, coming out with another show. We have very little more information about this currently. All just basically Marvel is looking to continue to expand their realms basically to every format possible. Kids, adults, everywhere in between. Basically, when it comes down to it is, congratulations, Soup. You have 2 more shows on your list that you're going to be forced to watch. That's probably going to be disappointing. So have fun with that, buddy. So that's... I don't know what to say, you guys. I don't know what to say about these things. Maria says Freeform got edgier when it switched from ABC Family, or that was the idea. Well, if that's the idea, kudos, I guess, but prove it. So, ABC Family, when it was ABC Family and not Freeform, I haven't had cable in probably 10 years, so I'm not a genius when it comes to this kind of stuff. I just read stuff off the internet for fun. When it was ABC Family, it was basically a more toned down CW, which is saying something. I mentioned this previously in our big show, Cheap Shot Cinema, over the weekend. That's just basically what it seems like. It's just kind of like a toned down CW, and CW is already pretty toned down. So, I mean, CW has a couple good shows. I really like Supernatural for quite a few years. So if Freeform's slightly edgier, it may not be terrible, but honestly, there is not a network superhero show that I like. Not a single one. So, I mean, Arrow is probably the best, but I didn't get very far into it. Flash is okay. Never saw Supergirl. Is that what even it's called? I'm horrible at this game. And then Legends of Tomorrow, never saw it because it's terrible, I heard. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I watched like half of the first season and that sucked. So, not a good track record, guys. Who's disappointed? Maria? You sound disappointed to me. All right. People are talking a lot. You guys need to slow down with your talking. Something else. Anyways, something about Fantastic Four. I don't know, Sean George. That's way too long of a comment for me to read while I'm doing this. So I'm going to move on. Super Bowl's coming up this Sunday. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Soup, me and you should figure out something, man. I might just stay here, drink beer, watch it myself, not being bothered by people. That sounds good. Anyways, Super Bowl is good for other things other than just football. Specifically commercials. Well, actually, other than football, the only thing it's good for is commercials. So, yeah. Specifically for this instance, in this show, it is good for trailers. Now, a 30-second spot's going to cost you much money. I don't even know how much. It's just a lot. But anyways, typically what we see during the Super Bowl, though, is a lot of trailers with a little bit of new stuff. Just a little bit. You can't fit a lot in 30 seconds, so I'll bring in just a touch of new to something that we've already seen. Hollywood Reporter recently kind of came out with what they think is going to be released based on what studios have purchased time slots. So Fox, Sony, excuse me, I'm burping because of my root beer, I guess. Fox, Sony, $5 million per three. You know what, Sean? I did think it was $5 million, but I wasn't sure. But that sounds right. That's a lot of money. Jeez. Just for 30 seconds, too. That's why Miller did the best thing a few years back when they just did High Life. It was a 1-second commercial. It was awesome. Anyways, no Star Wars. Mark, you are correct. They did say that most likely we're not going to get a Star Wars. They said most likely Transformers The Last Night, which I just barely care about. Ghost in a Shell is probably going to happen, which we haven't seen much of that yet, so I'm mildly intrigued, but just slightly more than Transformers. Not big anime guy, so I'm intrigued though. Probably get to see a little more Logan, and then the 8-year-old Wolverine, right, Mark? I keep calling you Mark. This is weird. What is wrong with me? Soup. Anyways, girl Wolverine, and then Fate of the Furious, which don't care. Probably a little bit of the new Pirates movie. I don't even know what it's called, actually. And then there's a few others, could be Guardians. Disney's got a few things floating around that they bought time for. But yes, most likely we are not going to see The Last Jedi. So, whatever. I would rather see a full trailer anyways than seeing 30-second, little teaser and just be disappointing. All right. Final topic is going to be my biggest topic of the day. Ben Affleck will not direct the standalone Batman movie. I have multiple feelings on this, and I don't know how to reconcile, to be honest. Pirates of the Caribbean, Crash, something. Sean, I don't know what that says. Cash grab. There you go. Boom. Yeah, you are totally right, but isn't that what basically all movies are now? Transformers, Fate of the Furious, they're both pretty much cash grabs, I would say. Those series have run their course. Mike, no puns. Hi, Dan. Anyways, you guys are getting me off topic with your saying things and puns and just general distractions. This is my show. Anyways, Ben Affleck won't direct the Batman movie. So, multiple feelings about this. Concern a little bit. I'm hoping he's telling the truth when he says basically what he has said is that he's stepping down because to paraphrase, he doesn't want to do too much. He wants to focus on the character, and he doesn't really want to be in the Batman costume sitting in the director chair, telling people to do or reshoot, something like that. That's understandable. Where my concern comes from, though, is he has been very flip-floppy in the past on this. He has said, yeah, I'm totally going to do it. Then he said, well, maybe we have a script in process. Nothing's really come of it, though. And then he's literally gone back and forth. Now, he's also been a little off in kind of his tone towards it. Basically, he's kind of inferred in the past as well that he would only direct if there was a script and everything in place that worked out the way that he wanted to, and he could make the movie work. So it kind of is interesting that he is stepping down just because he said that in the past, but at the same time, he co-wrote it. He co-wrote the script. He's still going to produce, whatever producing means, and he's going to act in it. So I really hope he's being sincere when he says, I want to focus on the character. It also makes me happy that he co-wrote it. Co-writing can mean a whole lot of different things. He may have not had that much involvement in it. Hopefully he had a decent amount. Have you seen Good Will Hunting? That movie's amazing, and he wrote that. So I'm really hoping that this is really, truly in the best interest of the film, but based on his attitude towards it in the past, I'm a little nervous just because of what he has said. So what do you guys think? Who do you think should be directed? I've heard Zack Snyder doing another one. I am not a fan of Zack Snyder. I think ultimately DC ruined the movies themselves that they've done, but I think Zack Snyder was a poor choice in that being said for both Batman v Superman and also this movie. Justice League. Boom. Thought of it. He also wrote Live by Night, and that movie was trash. Everyone, you win some, you lose some, Sean. Everybody's gonna... every single director, writer, whatever, all the big guys have had failures in the past, but overall, recently, Ben Affleck has proved that he can be a good director and has proved over time that he can be a good writer. Christopher Nolan. No, not Tim Burton. Soup. Get out of here. Christopher Nolan, though, is intriguing. That actually is super intriguing to me. He wouldn't do it, is ultimately what it comes down to. But yeah, I would love to see him pretty much, throw that together and get the band back together. It sounds super cool. Christopher Nolan, but you also have to take in consideration Christopher Nolan is more down to earth. I want Christopher Nolan to do it, but more comic booky. Like, me and you have talked about that. I don't have a problem with Tim Burton either, Maria. It's more of a directing style at this point in time. It's too weird. Johnny Depp would be in it for some reason, and I don't want to see that. Helen Bonham Carter would be like Batman's love interest, and that's just gonna be weird. Like, so, no, I don't think so. Any other throws out? Anybody else want to throw out a name? Let's see. The guy who just did Arrival. That'd be interesting. Or he also did Sicario. He's also doing Blade Runner. I can't remember his name. My bad. But anyways, that's who off the top of my head. Do you want Michael Keaton to direct? Or do you want him to play Batman again? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, honestly, guys, that's going to be it for me. I really hope you enjoyed talking amongst yourselves and then talking to me while talking amongst yourselves. I had a lot of fun. Again, I am Zach. This is Cheap Shot News. I try to do this every Tuesday, try to get you involved every Tuesday as well. For anyone watching on YouTube, I live stream this on Cheap Shot Cinema on Facebook. So you can follow us on Facebook at Cheap Shot Cinema. You can check us out on Twitter, same thing, Cheap Shot Cinema, YouTube, Cheap Shot Cinema. And then, of course, our website is called something completely different. Nope, that's a lie. It is cheapshotcinema.com, where you can find other videos and articles and things of that nature. So thanks for all the love, you guys. I really appreciate it. I will see you next week. Bye.